Oh, hello there. Yeah, we're back. We are back. Back on a Saturday. Not just any Saturday. It's my birthday weekend, you guys.
Happy birthday, brother.
Birthday.
Thanks, man. So the actual date of the birthday is Monday, May 26th. But you gotta celebrate the whole weekend, especially when the birthday day happens to fall like on Memorial Day on the Monday. That's you got to go to work the next day. It's just not the same, especially since years ago I used to just celebrate my birthday all month. A lot of people they don't want to celebrate their birthday. They're not really into it. I've always been into it. I believe in celebrating yourself. I believe in taking time out of your year, out of your day to just have fun and just enjoy the things and the people that you want to enjoy. But life's a little bit different now. So celebrating the whole month, not really in the cards. But I feel like I can at least take a weekend. What do you think?
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah.
Do it.
Do you, bro? Do you?
So my friend Eric, what's going on in California, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I missed the intro music. I've missed hanging out with you guys. And yeah, it's I'm just chilling, you know what I mean? Having a good time and just working a lot and just, doing my thing. It's nothing major, any major changes out here, just being late night, dude. That's it.
We did some cool stuff, right? You went to the car show, right?
Yeah. I went to a cool car show with my dad. An annual thing that me and him like to do. We go to maybe one or two big car shows during the year. So definitely into our hot rods. So went and did a little bit of that, and yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Rhino, what's going on, man? What's been going on in your life the last couple of weeks?
Just working crazy OT lately. Working anywhere from 10 to 20 hours of overtime, trying to get that toy money. Convention season is upon us. Next one up is Maryland Toy Expo. I can't wait.
I can't wait, man. So Maryland Toy Expo, it's Father's Day weekend. So I think it's the Saturday the 13th, if I got my date correct. Really cool show, man. I'm excited. I think a lot of people are going to end up showing up at this show this year. It's a one-day show. So you got one shot, but it's pretty big. It covers 2 buildings, tons of a pretty good selection of different stuff too, between vintage and modern and all that kind of stuff. Andy says it's the 14th. Thank you very much. Also something, so I'm going to be there. I was there last year. I did do a live stream from the show last year. So if you want to check it out, it's on the channel under the lives from last year, right around this time. The whole, Wolf King Toys crew was going to be there, 4 Horsemen Street Team event. There's a bunch of other toy companies that end up going there. The Maryland Food and Wine Festival was the same weekend last year and was across the parking lot. So that was pretty cool. So, Bill says, you guys coming to 5 Points Fest. Oh, is that the Toy Pizza Expo? Is that what that is? I would love to. I don't remember what day it is. Let's look it up.
Man, that's why sometimes I feel fortunate that I live in California because, man, if I lived in the East Coast with you guys, I'd be freaking broke as a joke with all them fucking toy shows that you guys go to during, con season out where you guys are. Because you guys have so many shows in so many different states and cities that are available to you guys within a reasonable driving distance. It's yeah, I'd be hurting, dude, if I was anywhere near that area. It's so crazy because it's one after another, especially during con season for you guys. It's crazy. We're literally, there's maybe there's a couple of cons that are out here, but there's nothing compared to what you guys have. I mean, the only thing that used to keep me in the hole as far as money spent was going to Frankensons on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? Because that's that's a con every single week, but yeah, it's crazy to know all the shows that you guys have available. But it's cool too because you guys at least get to see each other on multiple times during the year. Where
that's the coolest.
Literally, I have to wait out here for almost the entire year. Aside from me being able to go out to ZoloCon, this year was pretty awesome.
That was pretty cool. We don't know. We only normally get to hang out once a year.
Yeah.
But even then, ZoloCon went by too fast. I felt like we barely saw each other.
Yeah, yeah. And then it was weird too because I was there for like an extra 4 days, and I was like there solo, and it was weird with like nobody else there. I was like, oh man, what happened to all the people I was hanging out with? So that was kind of a weird trip. Like once everybody left the casino and friggin'
That
the
was kind
hotel
of
was empty, I was like, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm here by myself. You know? Yeah, it was weird. It's a weird vibe.
well, we got to make Legion's Con count then to
Yeah.
really really like invest in making that like a 4-day type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's funny, you mentioned the whole spending money on toys. Not something I've really been doing a whole lot of.
But hey, yeah, I've been freaking. I haven't spent money on literally anything other than that. God, what was that? Maybe like a month or so ago when I sent you the pictures of that Robotech thing that I bought. That's like the last thing that
Yeah.
I've bought. Nothing, no figures, no nothing.
Well, sort of in connection with the dragon, I did like a concerted, a lot of people were doing stuff like where I'm just not going to spend any other money on toys for a couple of months, which kind of was my idea too. The toy embargo is what I put myself on.
Yeah.
There's going to be no other toy purchases that are not dragon related until I think I said May, my birthday month, right? So stuck to it. I haven't bought anything in store. No new pre-orders. No. The only of course I bought the dragon, which I put on the pay in 4 option, and all 4 payments now made. So the dragon is now paid for.
Yeah.
Smart. Hell yeah.
2 fiery breath sets, an epic wing set. The first fiery breath set I paid for just outright, so that was paid for. The second one I bought with the epic wing set at the end of the campaign, paying for too. And I think I have one more payment on that. Then all the dragon stuff is just paid for.
Nice. It's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling knowing that's out of the way.
Yeah, and then now we wait.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird too because I know that of course the big announcements or the big talk right now has been AS6, and people waiting on those or receiving those figures now, and I literally I don't even think I ordered anything from AS6, which I'm like, okay, I definitely want to get a couple of these figures, but then I look back on my POs, and dude, I have literally 8 open fucking POs from Four Horsemen Studios. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you know how many figures I've already paid for? It's like I can't buy any more right now. You know what I mean? I'm just like, dude, I've spent like tens of thousands of dollars on figures that I'm still waiting on. You know what I mean? It's like I even forget that I've ordered them. I mean, it's like been so long that I'm like, oh yeah, I ordered this. Oh, I ordered that. And I look at another PO, I'm like, oh, dude, I ordered that. Like, what the hell?
Well, actually, I'm excited about AS6. The only thing I'm not excited about is that I didn't do an all-in, so I got to wait a little bit. I did put an AS6 order in, but it was like a pick and choose type situation. Oh, geez, when would this have been? This would have been 2022. Is that it? No. Dude, I'm looking at all my Four Horsemen orders, and it's just like columns of fulfilled. Man, I've been buying this stuff for so long now.
Yeah. If you sit there and do the math and do the numbers, yeah, it's kind of shocking. I know for me, it truly is.
Oh, maybe
it's
this is.
Oh my god! I'm like, that's how much money I've spent on just this toy line. On just this toy line, like that's crazy.
Okay, here it is. So this is what I got from AS6. I got the horse, got Deacon, I got Sir Andrew, I got Thrasis, and I got Barodoc. So I got none of the reissues. Although I do want them. I still want Calavius and
Ignatius.
Yeah, I do want those because I don't have them. And yeah, I think they look really cool. So I'm excited to get mine. Everything looks pretty cool that I've been seeing so far. Sir Andrew looks really cool.
Yeah.
Thrasis looks really dope. So
yeah.
It's one of those things where like I didn't even remember what I ordered. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I ordered something from AS6, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, good. It's like what, 4 figures? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I could have sworn I ordered something from AS6, but I guess I didn't. I don't know. I mean,
It's
either
weird.
I'm missing
It's
something
live,
or so
yeah.
I'll have to look back and see if I did, but I truly believe I missed on that pre-order. But it's okay. Like I said, I look at the countless freaking POs that I have that are
You still have other
outstanding that
stuff
I'm
on
just
the
like,
way.
oh my God. I'm like, I don't even have room for any of the stuff that I ordered or that I have on order. So what am I worried about? You know what I mean? Yeah. Lately I've been trying to catch up on, I know Bill's probably on right now watching us, but I've been trying to catch up on that in between two fires, that book that Bill had
Mhm.
on the Door Clear book club thing. So I'm trying to finish that up. It's a long book, so I'm like freaking. I've been trying to get caught up on that, and that's been taking up most of my time, other than binging fucking different series and this and that on whatever stream that I'm doing or DVD series that I've been watching. Been catching up on a lot of like anime stuff that are that I've been watching. So
So I
Same.
know nothing about anime whatsoever.
not I
Nothing.
shouldn't say that. More like cartoons, like
Okay.
I call it anime because that's kind of like just what everybody calls it, but old like Eon Flux and the Max and
What was it called? Liquid TV or is that
Liquid Television. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it came from. Yeah, it was MTV's Liquid Television. Yeah, so I've been catching up on a lot of those things, just like binging on stuff like that, and like I said, keeping myself from being online and spending money on more POs or more sales drops or more this or that stuff that that I don't necessarily need to waste my money on right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I just haven't been the only other that. So now that the toy embargo's been over now for a number of weeks, but I still haven't gone nuts or anything like that. It wasn't like it ended and I just went and spent a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
The one little cheat that I permitted myself was that when Ganesha came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'm always going to order the figure obscura. I love
Yeah,
Figura Obscura.
absolutely. Yeah.
But so I'm like, you know what? How do I? And it was like at the end of April, so it was almost there. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm going to do this on pay in 4
Mm.
because the first payment doesn't hit for 2 weeks. Technically, I didn't spend on any additional money until after the toy embargo was over.
Nice.
Loophole.
Yep. That works.
It's
So-
Yeah,
that's
even
why you're a lawyer.
me too. I mean, when I'm I picked up Ganesha and I figured, you know what? Okay, I'll grab it. It's a beautiful freaking figure. So I was like, I'm all about it. I'm definitely gonna get it. But I, played it right, and I was like, okay, I don't want to spend a bunch of money. So instead of ordering like 5 of them, like I would usually with any of the figure obscures, just for the extra parts or just whatever, I just bought one. You know what I mean? I just bought one and done. I'm good.
It's a
And
crazy set. Like it's
yeah,
like
Oh, yeah.
beautiful
gotten
set,
into all
dude.
the accessories.
Beautiful figure. Yeah, I have it displayed up on the top of one of my cases with it's kind of funny. I put it and I'm like, I don't know if this makes any sense, but I have it with my my Demon Slayer figures. I'm like, okay,
Dude,
that
that's
kind of works with that.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, it looks
Perfect.
perfect with it. Yeah, all my I have my Demon Slayer, like they're like statues or like those Sega statues or whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, I have it with that. So, but yeah, I only bought one, so kind of helped out a little bit in the pocketbook.
I did also. So now I'm thinking back now on what's all the money I've spent on toys since then. So the dragon stuff, I got Ganesha. I did pre-order. There's an AEW Mercedes Monet figure from Jazzwares that was put on pre-order. I did put that pre-order in now.
Is that a 1/12 scale figure?
Yeah. So it's just a wrestling figure. So I have a few of them actually. None of them down here.
I don't think I've ever seen a Jazzwares figure.
Yeah,
I was just
Jazzwares
saying,
AEW.
Is it usually Mattel or is Mattel WWE?
Mattel does WWE. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
Mattel does WWE and Jazzwares does AEW. So I've got like a Swerve Strickland. I've got an acclaimed set just because it looks hilarious.
So what's their retail? Are they like $25-$30 for them, or are they
$20,
like?
dude.
Oh, okay. So they're
Not bad.
regular price figures. I
Yeah.
didn't when you said Jazzwares, I don't know, it like confused me with like Jazz Inc. And I was
Jazz
like,
Inc.
wow.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow. I was like, what kind of wrestling figure is that, bro? Like that's some
The
heavy
best one
duty.
you ever bought.
Yeah, I was like, that's got to be a great character to buy that kind of figure. Yeah. Okay,
No, the
I get it.
Mercedes figure, which is for people that don't know, you might know her as Sasha Banks. She was Sasha Banks.
Okay, I've heard the name before. Yeah,
and she was in The Mandalorian too. She that's a deluxe figure, and I think that was like $40 or 45, something like that. That was the deluxe figure. But yeah, that and then just today, Chase and I went to the local collectible shop, RC Collectibles in Lebanon, New Jersey, which is about 8 minutes from my house. First toy purchase in a store since I looked this up, the beginning of February. I went to Target and bought the Gizmo and
good
like
for you, bro.
Reaction Cobra Commander. So more than 3 months. Want to see what I got?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Is it out? Are you going to take it out of the box?
Of course not, bro.
No, I am. Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
All right. So I got this C-3PO, Power of the Force C-3PO.
Nice.
Very shiny, extremely shiny. This was the holofoil. Was the second run?
God, don't even talk to me about freaking Power of the Force, dude.
Let me just tell you, I love Power of the Force 2 so much.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I literally had 2 to 3 of every figure from that line in the red and green cards.
Oh yeah.
Was made when that line came out. Like fucking I bought everything from that line, dude. And they were all mint on cards when I sold them. If you could believe that. They were all mint on cards. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
That's awesome, dude.
I got a Yoda, which I don't believe I have this Yoda.
Yeah. That's a great figure too. That's awesome.
He's got like a little teapot or the soup pot or whatever. Yoda.
Yeah, I like the little thing where you could pull down the little thing and it's got like the little
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So yeah. And here's the buy of the day right here. The find of the day. Ready for this? Aunt Beru.
Yeah, I had her. Yep. Aunt Beru. Yep.
Like how hilarious is that?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's old school right there.
So here's the thing. I love Power of the Force because just because of what you're talking about, that when Power of the Force came out, at this point now, you know, Star Wars had ended. The toys stopped in 86, and that's back when shit just ended. It was just over. Like it was done. It was over. And then nothing Star Wars really happened. These toys came out, and by then the idea that, you know, action figures and Star Wars toys in particular could be collectibles and like antiques, that was had fully taken shape. The internet is sort of coming in. There's message boards and stuff. So just like you said, Eric, so many people were not just buying these, but buying 3.
Oh yeah,
one to open, one to keep, one to sell.
Yeah, I had fucking hundreds of those figures, dude. Hundreds. It was ridiculous. So many. Those were the heavy days of toy hunting for me. Like going to Toys R Us, KB, Kmart, freaking all these little mom and pop toy shops that fucking were around town, and just like hunting for all these mint on card freaking figures. And yeah, that was a good time. I mean, at that point I was even part of the they used to have the Star Wars collectors club, and you could send away and buy like exclusive figures. Like I had the exclusive like the Spirit of Obi-Wan, and
like the one from the Chips mail away.
Yeah, the mail away one, and I had the Cantina band figures. I had like multiple sets of those, of the whole Cantina band. I had a bunch of other exclusives from the Star Wars Collectors Club, and man, I was so heavy into that line, dude. So heavy. That's good memories, dude. Freaking so cool to see you bought some. That's awesome.
because this little collectible shop, it's the only one that's really like near me, and it's mainly like a sports collectible shop. Like they got like sports cards and sports memorabilia and stuff like that. But they do have like one little Star Wars section where they always have like Power of the Force stuff.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while they'll have just something freaking random. Like I've gotten like an on-card Supernaturals figure from there before. Like I don't even know where the guy gets like it's the action figure like portion of this, like the non-sports action figure portion of the store is pretty small. So I don't know how he picks them, but I love it because these figures are what 27 years old, almost 30 years old by any reasonable definition.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars figures.
That's vintage, man. That's vintage shit right there.
All
No
three
matter
of
how
them
you look at it.
$20.
Nice.
It's not
Nice. Yeah, you could do that all day, bro. That's awesome.
So that was cool. But yeah, first in-store toy purchase in more than 3.5 months. So
yeah. So how about you, Ryan? I know a couple of Mezco drops have come and gone. Have you are you still off the Mezco chain, or are you freaking back on? Have you gotten anything?
So I have stopped purchasing Mezco altogether.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. That's a huge step, dude. That's a huge step, dude. That's crazy.
Okay. But I'm still doing the imports that cost a little bit of money. So I got a couple of Buzzmod Demon Slayer figures in.
Oh,
and
nice.
Then I sent you guys the picture, the Mafex Superboy.
Yeah,
dude, that figure is insane.
Yeah, Mafex is killing some shit, dude. Those are beautiful, beautiful figures. No matter what you get from a Mafex, they're always good.
Yeah, I got it from Hobby Link, and when I shipped it, I did get hit with the import duties, which we all knew it was coming, but it is what it is. But I wasn't going to miss out on that figure.
Of course, we could talk about that a little bit. How toy collecting purchasing has probably gone down a bit for a lot of us because of the tariff thing, and you know, not wanting to pay $20 to $30 extra for a figure just because of the tariffs. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going to happen, to see what's going to happen in the future with that for a lot of companies that are obviously importing their stuff from China, which is pretty much everybody, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's everybody sort of, there's such uncertainty and that's part of the problem is that, so then like tariffs went from 0 to 150%, whatever it was, 30%. But now there's, there's some back and forth with the UK now. And part of the issue is nobody really knows what's going to happen. So the 30% from China is only a 90-day deal, right? That could be extended. I know nothing, right? I'm not in manufacturing. I'm not in importing, exporting, none of this. So I don't know. The tariff thing always felt temporary, but like temporary in a way that I don't know what the long-term thing is. Like it's already, no matter what, it's still now way more expensive than like, and everybody's talked about, like Bobby Valla made some videos talking about like, they're talking like, depending on like the shipment, that like anywhere from like 10,000 to like 50,000 or more of new money that the company didn't anticipate and wasn't in anybody's budget. Like, so
that's huge money too, dude. Especially like, for the companies. I mean, for the collectors, for any company, it's just crazy. That's why a lot of companies have, and that's why there's that huge ordeal right now in China where a lot of jobs are being lost out there because a lot of companies are pulling out. They're like,
they're pulling money off the board because they're like, we don't really know what's going to happen. We can't keep absorbing this. We'll be out of business. Like, and BBTS as a distributor, they're gonna have like some type of like tariff surcharge. The Horsemen really haven't done anything, but like you would think companies, at least if nothing else, are gonna have to raise prices overall because they don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And they're not going to be able to absorb like a huge $40,000 bill out of nowhere.
Well, who can, dude? Who can? You know what I mean? If you're running a business, how can you do that?
Customers are going to be like, no, I'm not paying that. Like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you see some companies are probably going to do what Super 7 did. Super 7 laid off a bunch of people.
That's the hard pill to swallow, dude, is seeing all the unemployment coming out of this, where people are losing their jobs, dude. And it's just like, fuck, man, like no one wants to see that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see that.
I don't know. I'm no economic expert, but I'm like, all right, how is this a good thing if like American small businesses like feel like they have to like lay people off, you know?
Mhm.
And like just like you said, businesses are probably going to pull some money off the board because like they don't really know what's going to happen, so we have to prepare for the future. Collectors are like going to be like pulling back too. Like
Mhm.
we're not gonna be able to. We're not so like there has. Have you noticed there hasn't been a whole lot of toy news recently?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Totally,
so, but
totally.
there's not a whole lot we can do about it now. So
Mhm. We'll see what the future holds, man.
yeah, companies. You hear Curtis has a good point here. Companies pulling out. He can't relate. But yeah. So I don't know. That's at least as of right now. It's the tariff thing is something that's sort of changing constantly. I think. Yeah, but I mean, I know, like, put it this way, I'm sure companies are doing all kinds of stuff, you know, looking at potentially working with other countries, but that stuff doesn't happen like overnight. This China thing has decades invested in it, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, and they're you got to give it to them. They're the best at it. You know what I mean? So it's like if you want your product to be top notch, it's gonna come from China, dude. I mean, especially in the action figure community, or genre. There's no other place to do it but China. So it's like, where are you gonna take your work to end up with subpar, product? You know what I mean, and quality. So yeah,
I think it was was it a Bobby Valla video? I forget. It was some toy maker was made a video or was involved in a video where they were talking about it. People talking about going to South America because, some stuff does get made in South America, or at least has. And I forget if it was Bobby or not, but whoever it was like, trust me, South America is not really an option for like action figures right now. Not for the kind of stuff that people buy in America right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's, I guess the one thing I can say is luckily I have a whole bunch of freaking toys that I never opened inside my house already. So,
yeah.
As far as the eye could see, like
Yeah.
I have on-card figures all over the place, hanging on the walls. Oh, I did do that. You guys saw that. I finally opened my Super 7 Cats lair.
Yeah, dude. That's
massive, dude. Holy
ridiculous,
shit.
dude. Yeah,
it's so much bigger than I even sort of remembered. And again, when I was next to one, it was in a glass case, like on a convention floor. Like I'm looking over there, I'm looking at it, like it sits next to, and I'll try to call up a picture maybe. It sits next to the G.I. Joe Defiant playset from the 80s, this big giant space playset, and it dwarfs it. It makes it look like not big at all. It's so big.
Yeah, like I said, thinking about like real estate space for the dragon, I'm like, I can't even imagine that freaking that Thundercats playset. It's so massive, dude. It's just so massive. It's crazy.
I haven't even hooked everything up yet, like the lights. There's lights.
Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you got it?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
No, the comment.
Where was I? Hold on.
Like I always say, man, enjoy what you have. You know what I mean? Sit back and pull figures off the shelves or out of your display cabinets and enjoy what you have. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's the best medicine for keeping your budget in check, or getting rid of FOMO of not like getting the newest release of something. Just enjoy what you have.
Yeah, so much I think of the hobby gets caught up in what's the next thing, buying the next thing. Most of us probably have a lot of stuff that we could spend some time enjoying.
Absolutely.
So there it is.
God damn it. That thing is so
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
big, dude. It's huge, bro.
Yeah, and I did have to set it up on a table like off to the side. Now it can pull out so you can sort of see the back. Initially, I kind of wanted to put it like in the middle of the basement on the floor. It's not possible. It's too big. It's too big to just put in the middle of the floor. Like if you're sitting on the couch, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
Yeah, that's
but it's so wonderfully ridiculous. Like that is one of
awesome.
the things like where it was this giant thing gets announced, and it's like the one HasLab Kickstarter giant thing where I was like, absolutely, it's happening. I'm definitely doing that. Like, there was never a question.
That's crazy,
It's
bro.
amazing. But now I need
the cat head on the. I mean, from the looks of it, the cat head on that thing looks about the size of like a human head. Am I mistaken? It's huge, bro.
I think that cat head is bigger than Chase's head.
That's crazy, bro.
I know.
That's
Chase
crazy.
Speaking of Chase, he's graduating 8th grade.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Moving on to high school, huh?
So I'm trying to close some stuff here. All right. Is the Cat's Lair the biggest playset? I don't think so. Well, I mean, maybe it is. We would have to consult that. You know, you've seen that photo, right? That somebody made where like they have like all the HasLabs and all the big toy projects like superimposed over each other, so you can see which one is the biggest. Is there a Thunder Tank to park next to it? There is. There is, but there's no room next to it. I think the Thunder Tank's going to have to go underneath. Got to figure that out. But that's the other thing now is I am beyond max capacity at this point. I have an Eternia in the box, which I moved to my garage. I don't really have a spot for it down here. The only thing I can really do is if I move the TV up on the wall and like do something over here, maybe the Eternia can go underneath it. But if anybody in the Northeast is looking to buy an Eternia, let me know.
Jeez. Like I said, man, as beautiful and as awesome those playsets are, it just, like I said, the real estate that they take up, man, is just beyond comprehension, dude. It just, you need like mansion fucking real estate to fucking just like truly display things like this in a proper way. It just makes no fucking sense how big they are.
How do you have multiples? Like the people that have like a Cat's Lair and like
Gray Skull or Snake Mountain.
Yeah,
like
easy. But the weird thing is, like, especially since I really like, I looked back on like my toy collecting modern life, right? And that this phase of the toy collecting really got going in around, I want to say 2017, 2018 into 2019 is really when it starts picking up. And then the pandemic hits at like the perfect time. And it kind of went from like this to like,
yeah,
you know,
just skyrocketed.
But like this, like, I can't imagine that there's going to be another big toy project that I will probably back.
Famous last words.
Right. And but the
Yeah.
thing is, like, that's a little sad because it's like, well, that's fun. Like, I do think they're fun. But like, I still haven't, like, I'm going to sell my His Tank. I've never opened my His Tank. I've never opened the Eternia. No, that's a lie. I have 2 on the way. I just realized this.
2 what? Eternias?
No, 2 big like HasLab projects.
Oh, I was gonna say, God damn, bro.
I got the stupid TVC Cantina.
Okay.
Which I got to find a shelf for. And then I did get the HasLab Ectomobile set, which looks pretty cool. Now, a vehicle is okay because I feel like that can kind of go under a table or over somewhere. It doesn't like where a Cat's Lair is like, listen, dude, I need to dominate a corner of your basement.
Yeah. Literally. Literally.
Ryan, do you have any HasLab stuff or no? No, right?
I only have the Sentinel. I actually, after the Sentinel, I was like, this is too big for the space that I have. I can't. Everything else it's jam-packed in here already.
Yeah. The only HasLab thing I ever purchased was Galactus. I had 2 of them and I sold both of them and never opened one of them. It was just too much. I mean, I had a huge display idea for one of the Galactus that I bought, and then I ended up moving, and that project like went out the door because it was like, okay, I had a space and a way that I was going to display it with the Fantastic Four figures and all the heralds and the whole 9, and then like do a huge diorama with it and whatever. But yeah, that project was like, okay, once I was in another household, I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I ended up selling the second one that I had too. So, but that was the only HasLab that I've ever done. But yeah, this stuff is just, whew, man, crazy huge.
I mean, it's awesome. Like, I love it. I'm very happy to have it. I'm never going to sell it unless I have to.
Yeah.
But again, when you already have a Defiant and a flag,
Yeah. You know, I wonder too, like with like this HasLab. I mean, what did this cost? What, $650, $450, $650?
I think it was $600 or $650. I want to say.
I wonder, like in, you know, let's say 20 years, 30 years, like what's this playset going to be worth on a secondary
because
market?
it's like this niche market within a niche market. So I can't, like, it's difficult to say, like, how many people can buy like a Cat's Lair that would actually want one. That could, you know, like, it's a tough call. Like, it's still like you could sell it right now and make a little profit.
Yeah. Also too, I think about the collector community in a sense where like guys like me in, you know, our 40s to 50s and guys like you that are in their mid 30s to 40s, 20s, fucking calm down. You know what I mean? Like, we have that nostalgic tie to things like this, like the, you know, the Cat's Lair, the Thunder Tank, you know, the Hiss Tank, stuff like that, where let's say 20 years from now, I mean, you know, people like us will be in our 50s to our 70s and deciding to maybe, you know, start selling off some of our collections and this and that. Like, are the people that are now going to be like in their 30s, are those people going to be interested in anything like this because they have no nostalgic tie to this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird where you think like, who would actually buy this from you, let's say 20 years from now or 30 years from now? Because like I said, it's not going to be a new collector. It's not going to be some kid that's 25 to 30 years old, because that kid probably doesn't even know what the fuck, you know, Thundercats is. You know what I mean? So they're going to look at that and be like, yeah, I don't even know what the hell that is. Like, whatever.
I don't know what's going to happen with hold on a second. Here. Sorry about that. Messed up. I don't know what's going to happen with nostalgia. I think nostalgia is going to change. Hold on a second.
Curtis might have a point. You may have a point, dude, because like I said, it's really, you have to think about it.
There we go.
Toy collecting in general is basically funded by all of us older people that have that nostalgic tie to all these different IPs. You know what I mean? Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Thundercats, you name it. It's us that's driving this collecting force throughout all these years. But once we're gone and we're not collecting anymore or supporting that thing, like, who's going to want the stuff that we had? Because it's like I said, it means Thundercats mean, I mean, I'm probably Chase as well, but to my son, Thundercats means nothing to my kid, nothing, and to any of his friends. You know what I mean? They don't know anything about the Thundercats or Transformers or G.I. Joe, or, you know what I mean? They know nothing about that stuff. They have no tie to it whatsoever. So to get them to spend, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on collectible figures or play sets, you know, down the line, if they should get into collecting, it's almost non-existent, because they don't, like I said, they don't have any emotional or nostalgic ties to it. You know what I mean? Or they could say, oh yeah, I remember as a kid I used to watch Thundercats, or I used to watch. None of those kids watched any of that. The only reason they would watch it is they were sitting with us while we're watching it. You know what I mean? And that's basically like, oh yeah, I remember when my dad used to watch, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? What's up, Bill?
What's up, Bill?
What's up, man?
Guys?
What's happening?
You know, like I said, it's kind of a weird thing to think about, like later on down the line, where I look at a lot of my figures and a lot of my stuff is older, nostalgic, classic, you know, things that make, you know, or impacted my childhood. But what does that mean to an upcoming collector in his, like I said, mid 20s to 30s, 20 years down the line? what's that guy
So-
gonna want to collect? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes back, right? Like, there's kids these days have no business being into Marvel. Marvel is something from the 1960s,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it kept coming back. So
Right.
like a kid right now would have nostalgia for Marvel because it's like huge.
Mm-hmm.
So like, could Thundercats have some kind of like huge resurgence where like kids love it? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who knows what thing is going to sort of like come back that we liked? That's not that, you know, that hasn't yet kind of made a comeback in like a big mass marketed like kind of way. So it'll kind of be interesting to see what things do and what things die off. Like, could Star Wars could just go bye bye?
Right.
You know, I mean, unlikely, but like, what's going to be gone too? Like, it's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of thoughts on that. I kind of have a feeling that toys are not going to go away. I think there's something about toys that works with people. And will it come back in the same way? Will toy collecting in 30 years be the same for people that are 40 then as it is for us now? No, I don't believe that. And I do think the 80s was like this one encapsulated time because we didn't have digital media so much. We didn't have the iPads.
Mm-hmm.
Video games were just happening inside houses.
Mm-hmm.
But I will also say, like in our minds, like in my mind, when I'm thinking like something like I was into this toy line for like years and years and years when I was a kid. And then it was really only out for 2 years in the 80s. I think our mind does weird things where
yeah,
like I know that my kids and some other of like people that I know that are my age that had kids, our kids did like toys. It just always seemed like they got in and out of them so quickly. Like
Mm-hmm.
if there was a Star Wars, like my buddy's kids were way into Star Wars, but it lasted probably 2 years or less.
Yeah, but like you said, with the fact that we didn't have the digital world to kind of draw our minds in a different direction, the impact that those toys had on us is tenfold compared to anything else in our
Yeah.
lives. That's why, like I
Mhm.
said, that's why all of this stuff means so much to so many of us because of even if it was, G.I. Joe. I played with G.I. Joe from like 82 to 84, which, like you said, is like 2 years less than, what I mean, less than 2 years. And
Mhm.
that was a huge impact in my life because I remember it like nothing else, you know what I mean? And it makes so much sense that like, oh, I love that line. I love these characters. Because of that impact that it had, because I had nothing else to like draw my attention in 100 different directions, like social media and the internet and the iPads and all that shit does to these kids today. That's why,
Sure,
like I
but
said, they have no draw to that kind of stuff because it
I
doesn't. They
disagree
have
though a
so
little
much
bit.
else,
I'll push back a little bit in that you're not wrong. You're right. Obviously, your attention is pulled away, whereas for us, everything was centered around the toy. So the
Mhm.
cartoons were selling the toy, the comics
Mhm.
were selling the toy, right? But the ubiquitous nature of the digital media can have a different effect too. Think about kids that like are, 2 years old to like 10 years old now. In 20, 30 years, are they going to be buying up everything that's Bluey? You know what I mean? Like I know little
Yeah,
kids that
yeah.
like they watch Bluey nonstop. They have Bluey clothes. They have Bluey, action
they'll
figures
be
and stuff. You know what I
they'll
mean?
be
Like,
asking for like, they'll want like, you know how everybody wants like the Dark Knight Returns, or the Dark Knight, that movie, The Dark Knight.
Mhm.
Everybody wants every single new version of something to be the Dark Knight of whatever, right? Like they want it
Mhm.
to be like this gritty, like realistic, whatever, you know, like they want everything to be that style. So like I feel like the kids in the future are going to be like, I want Bluey to be grim dark. I
Yeah,
want my
yeah, yeah.
live action Calico Critters movie to be, dark and serious.
Yeah, yeah.
so, and it's sort of like a related point that I think is interesting too, is that there's no question that, kids these days are a little bit more focused, not a little bit, a lot more focused on digital media, video games, iPads, stuff like that. It's definitely a different scenario. But I don't think it's true that kids these days wouldn't be more into toys if companies were better at marketing to them. Think about even the last 10 years. A lot of us like go up and down like the toy aisles, and we're like, there's either toys with stores with barren toy aisles, or like really the stuff in the boys' toy aisle is stuff really that we're looking for, like not so much the kids. Go to the freaking girls' aisle. The girls' toy aisle has been booming and never stopped booming, and girls play with what are essentially action figures. All their dolls now have incredible articulation. They have like all kinds of accessories. Like, girls never stopped playing with toys, and companies never stopped selling toys to them. So do we think that boys and girls that would want to play with quote unquote, stereotypically boys' toys, do we think that just went away? Or did the companies forget how to market to them because they started marketing to us, or whatever the other reasons were?
Good point.
I think we have a hard time seeing it because we think what we think toys are, and you're kind of getting at this, Jonathan, like what we think toys are is action adventure, He-Man, G.I. Joe, like it's the stuff that we loved when we were kids. But like for like my daughter, it's LOL, like those LOL surprise dolls, like all those LOLs, like I mentioned earlier, Calico Critters. Like there are certain things that, like my daughter's 10 years old and she doesn't want her friends to know, but she still plays with her Calico Critters, her mini brands, her LOL dolls, like all that stuff. Like that stuff's all it's toys, it's physical toys, and it's huge.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like the LOL thing, like she's huge into it. Like you can't get her away from it, right? Could you see when she's 35 her being an LOL collector? You know what I mean? Like the way we are with
I think
our
it depends.
toys, you know what I mean?
I think
like,
you got to be.
Do you think the brands like
heart?
that hold that much impact on our children today as our toys did to us, where we see reissues of like, oh, here's G.I. Joe Classified, or here's, He-Man Origins, where we just literally, we as men lose our fucking minds and go buy everything that we can because of the nostalgia impact.
But the difference is, so like the thing is, like, we are this we as men, this subset of men who collect, are a very tiny subset of men. Like we are a very specific niche. This is why you don't see, like, there is still not a toy channel on YouTube that has 1 million subscribers. There are Magic the Gathering channels with 1 million subscribers. There's not I don't think I can name a single action figure centered YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. This is kind of like how I gauge things a little bit, like we are a fraction. We are a very small size. Now, is my daughter going to be in that subset specifically of adults down the road who want to collect? Like, I think there's always going to be collectors. There's always going to be people. It just depends on what they collect, right? So the question is, will that subset be drawn to the toys of their childhood? I honestly think Calico Critters are phenomenal toys, and like they're gonna have that. If anything has that, like that kind of like toy value that you could see a company in the future like, let's go back and make really nice Calico Critters for adults. You know what I mean? Like I could see that totally.
Yeah, like when I remember
whether or not the LOL specifically, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when I worked for Target for 6 years, and I worked in the toy department, and as a collector, of course, all the Black Series and the Marvel Legends, I was like, okay, that's where it's at. But then also, I'd work in the girls aisles of the Barbies and what have you, and I thought as a collector, wow. And it's something that I thought would be huge as a collectible for, let's say, girl collectors, was the they were like those freaky, like zombie girl, like schoolgirl dolls.
Monster High.
Monster High. I thought oh wow, like that's gonna be a huge collectible thing down the line, kind of like Barbie. You know what I mean?
It
And
already is.
it's and it's like, and I wonder, like I said, girls that were, let's say, you know, 9, like, you know, 5 to 10 years old back then, when they get to like our age, are they gonna be like huge collectors of old vintage like Monster High figures? You know what I mean? Like, is that
Yeah.
going to be a
I
thing?
wonder
Will
if
that be a
I
thing?
kind of wonder if vintage toy collecting is one of those things that is unique to us. Now, I don't necessarily think that you have to have the prerequisite of this large group of people being into the vintage toys and chasing the vintage toys for there to be like action figures of properties that you love when you're an adult or whatever. But like, I kind of feel like there's a certain magic combination that happened for our generation. I think one of them is like it was never really a thing before it became a thing. So
Right.
then like, you know, everything after it becomes like, oh, this could be collectible, let's buy it up, and then it doesn't become collectible because of it. And so
Right.
it's like this self-defeating thing, right? But
Yeah, power of the
I think,
force.
right, yeah, like I think, you know, like that part of it where like people are going back to chase the old stuff. Now the question is like, toy shows, like, do they slowly taper off and die? I mean, they're still as strong as ever. I kind of feel like toy shows are like huge right now. Like, do they sort of taper off and die and then they just don't exist anymore? Because there will always be that slow. It's not going to be like this, like separation between one generation and another, and then it's like there's this wide gap, and it's always this slow transition,
Yep.
right? And so there's always going to be stuff that's a little bit newer and a little bit newer finding its way into the bins of the old stuff, and like people like looking at that and buying it and bringing their kids, and you know, just people just kind of like slowly going through. I also think that YouTube and social media are a place where kids get interested in things, right? So like they might watch channels of people doing stop motion with their action figures. My nephew's into this stuff. Like he's all about it. He literally asked, he's 10, he's the same age as my daughter, and he asked, or I think he's 11 now. He asked his parents to buy him the Infinity Studios Cherno Alpha Jaeger from Pacific
that is.
Rim.
Okay.
It's like a $350. It's like a $350 Jaeger.
Holy crap.
That's
like
crazy.
action figure. You know?
Where can I
Wow.
get this now?
He wants it so bad.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I think it's like about 12. It's like about like 12-inch like big thing. But you know, like kids, they get pulled
Thanks,
into
man.
it that way too.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting factor I think that sort of that we touched on a little bit earlier that sort of cuts both ways. Like when we were talking about Power of the Force, I was like, one thing that was so cool about Power of the Force was that Star Wars had been over for a decade, you know, like, and back then stuff could end. Like it was just over at that. Like when it was over, it was just over. It wasn't coming back. It was just done. And now there's this thing where like nothing ever dies. Like it's constantly out or coming back out again in a couple of years, or it's constantly coming back. So on the one hand, I feel like that makes it more likely that stuff will keep coming back and that people will be interested in it years from now. But because you never have that break, like, does it stop being nostalgia? Because like you're not nostalgic for something you never lost.
Yeah.
You know? So
and also, how many times can you keep regurgitating the same thing over and over to keep people like in the where they want to collect it, or they want to buy it, or they want to be into the property? And I think about like other properties where you know, like you said, like Bluey, like things like that, like kids TV shows. Like I remember my kid was into like Little Einsteins. You know what I mean? Or like Yo Gabba Gabba. Now, does that mean, 20 years down the line, some toy company like Super 7's going to make highly articulated fucking Yo Gabba Gabba figures? And are people even going to be into that? You know what I mean?
I think
As
Yo
far as
Gabba
the
Gabba
IP?
figures would sell like hotcakes right now.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, trust me, they would sell. But that's the thing. It's like will it have that draw or that impact as, like you said, like a Transformers or He-Man or, you know, G.I. Joe? Will it have that impact? I totally doubt it. You know what I mean? There might be a small niche of collectors that'll be like, oh yeah, I remember those, and I'll buy it because of that reason. But it won't have the impact of, you know, all of the other IPs that we've known and come to love throughout our childhood into our adult years.
We had a very like our experience was a very universal experience because we all had like essentially like all of us, we watched G.I. Joe at the same time. You know, like it was the only show on essentially like at a certain time at like, you know, 9:30 or whatever the heck time on a Saturday morning or whatever. It was like the only show on for everybody to watch. It's the same thing with like with just general TV watching, where it's like everybody would watch Lost on that Wednesday night or whatever the heck it was. Like we would all be watching Lost. We would all be watching 24. We would all be watching whatever show it was.
Yeah.
The Cosby Show, whatever, right? Like we would all be watching a show. Like that doesn't happen anymore. It's all splintered. It's all a la carte. It's all like, we don't have that like almost universal experience that it's like maybe there were 4 different shows that you could watch at 8:30, right? Like, so there's 4 different subsets of people or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I don't think there's going to be that same like mass appeal. It's not going to hit like across the board as hard as it does for someone like us who grew up in the 80s.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And on that point, it's kind of I think about like where you say like where your mind's drawn and splintered into 100 different directions where you can't focus on like one thing where you know everybody else is kind of doing that same thing. I totally appreciate like your book club because it keeps all of us like in that zone. Like we're going to go after this book and after this read, and we're all going to enjoy it together. You know what I mean? And that's, like I said, it's hard to get that. It's hard to get people's attention focused on one particular thing. And like I said, kudos to you for the book club, because that definitely puts us all in that spot where we can, like I said, instead of letting our minds fly into 100 different directions, we can all just focus on one particular subject at a time as a group, you know what I mean, and enjoy it together. And that book is fantastic, by the way. That book is fantastic.
Yeah. How far in are you? Like 3/4?
I think I'm like
half?
20, like 22, 23 chapters in.
Chapters? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're probably over half then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely halfway through. Yeah, definitely halfway through. But it's an amazing book. Yeah. It's freaking so glad. Yeah, it's
when you
getting
get to like
really
the last
crazy.
50 pages, like read it while you're very awake and you're very like locked in, because it gets wild.
Yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, like I said, I totally appreciate it, and like I said, kudos to you for bringing that together, because it's a very hard thing to do. Like I said, to keep an entire group focused on one subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, confession time. I started listening to the book, the Between Two Fires book, and I was like, I didn't love the beginning, and it was more like the whole like the beginning with like these scumbag
Super
dudes,
religious.
and,
Okay.
yeah, and then like there's a little girl there and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I was like, I hope this book doesn't start with something really horrible happening, which didn't happen, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but so I kind of stepped away from it. So I haven't gone back in yet. But
go back. You'll like it.
Yeah, definitely go back, dude.
Don't worry. If that's your concern, don't worry about it. You're good to go.
Not at all. Yeah.
I was like, ugh. But yeah, I do love the
Curtis
book club.
says, I'll join Bill's book club when he lowers the reading skill level of the material. So we're gonna do a blue
Green
book.
Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
All of Dr. Seuss's books.
Yeah.
Audiobooks, Curtis. Audiobooks.
It's all about audiobooks, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. That's where it's at, dude. That's totally where it's at.
Especially if you have any kind of like commute or something like that, like, or obviously if you have like a trip coming up, like audiobooks are awesome, especially if you get a good one.
Yeah.
So like I love those, like going to say something here. It's a little controversial. Heir to the Empire. A lot of Heir to the Empire is a little dry, to be perfectly honest with you. But the audiobook of it is really cool because it's one of those ones where like they have like some sound effects like inserted.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even just like a door opening and closing, like that makes it really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the Star Wars books are like that, where they have great sound effects, like into the, inserted into the storytelling or whatever, or the narration. It's really cool.
Dooku Jedi Lost is, I think that's the name of it, is a full blown like production where it was written as a script specifically to be performed. It's a really good listen. It's a good one.
Cool.
I'll have to check that out.
So do they have different?
Right now, I have my library. Right now, I just finished. Well, I mean, I had read it years and years ago. I actually read the books, but I re-listened to it on Audible. Was the Bounty Hunter Wars about Boba Fett, and that's a terrific series. You know what I mean? And in that, they have all, and also I have the X-Wing series of books, and also who else do I have? I have a couple of different series of the Star Wars stuff. I love the Star Wars stuff. It's just, that's probably some of the best stuff that I've listened to.
You know what I'm kind of contemplating doing for the book lair is Darth Plagueis. To me, like one of the all-time best Star Wars books, and it's on the cusp of being canon. It's like it's like almost canon kind of thing. Like I kind of want to do that one. It's such a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good time for Acolyte fans.
The Thrawn series is really good too. That's another one that
the newer Thrawn series.
Yeah.
I haven't read all of them, but yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so cool. So how about you, Bill? How's your toy buying budget been lately, as of late?
I've been pretty good. I did just get those vintage collections. Speaking of the Heir to the Empire vintage collection that has Pelion, Thrawn, and Joris Kaboth. It's a pretty cool set. I haven't opened the figures yet, but I pulled the cards out of the thing. Actually, I'll show you right here.
Did that sell out really, really quick? Because I remember seeing it, somebody posting about it, and then I went to go check it out.
It sold out quick, but it definitely sold out. I don't know if it sold out quick though. So
those are cool.
So the cards are so nice and they're unpunched, and it's hard to open them, but I'm gonna open them because I need I need the figures in my collection. So
yeah,
I guess technically I don't really need Thrawn. I have like a couple Thrawns, but definitely I need Kaboth and
those are 3 3/4, or are they Black Series size?
TVC
3 3/4 vintage
okay,
collection.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
And they're
Very
all,
cool.
I think they're all like the new modern updated bodies and articulation and stuff with the, with not just like the swivel hinge hips, but they have the like ball jointed hips and all the good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Obviously I got my All-Star 6 all in.
Nice.
I have Andrew on the table. I've been kind of like dragging my feet on that review. I've been like exhausted lately and just like not just that hit fast. I came like unexpectedly, almost like too fast. So like I'm like almost not ready to start those reviews yet because it's another 11 figure wave. It's just as big as
God. Was that 11 figures in that wave? That's crazy.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Same size as Necro. It's crazy, man. And then I've just been still like on the Glyos train. I've been not buying a lot lately because the 5 Points Fest is coming up and I know I'm going to be blowing a ton of money there. So I've been trying to save up for that. I did pre-order the Toy Pizza Patreon bundle that's going to be available there. So I have that to pick up at the show. And yeah, so a lot of Glyos and then obviously a lot of Legions between Necro in All-Star 6. And I got my Biblical
Yeah.
Adventures all in. That was 30 figures that just hit, and it's like it's
Wow.
just like a flood of
Shit.
figures.
Wow.
You know, a lot of
that's-
stuff I paid for years ago, but it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's
That's-
too much. I don't even know. Like, I had to sell some of the biblical, which was always the plan. I wanted to go do the all in to support, but I knew that I couldn't keep like 8 Jesuses and like 14
Yeah.
demons.
Which
It's,
yeah.
it's, like, it's cool
Yeah.
stuff. It's awesome stuff, but like, I
Yeah.
can't. I just don't have the room for all that stuff.
Right. That's
Yeah, I got
crazy.
mine. I just got the oh, you know what? I just remembered. I got the weapons pack. I was going to do that as a giveaway. And I got the blue Hagnon Jesus. I got
Yep.
that one. And then I got
Force Ghost Jesus.
what's
Yeah,
that?
Force Ghost
Force
Jesus.
Ghost Jesus.
Yeah.
And that would be a hilarious display. But and then I got the African Jesus, so the one that's like made from that famous like picture. So that's all.
Mhm.
That's all I got. They're very well done. Like honestly, I don't know that I would have ever ordered Jesus figures, but for them being like a Chris thing and like to support and
Yeah.
everything, they're really good. They're really well done. Like they're really cool, and it's an interesting idea. Like, and the whole idea of making action figures out of like art,
Yeah.
I think is a
It's
really
super
cool thing.
educational. It's super interactive. And you know, it kind of hits in a similar way that Figura Obscura hits. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
It's culture. It's got history. It's art. It's like all these things like mixed together. So it's a
Yeah.
very cool thing.
I did get a couple things I want to show you. Wait, where am I here? It's a couple of since you're on, Bill, I got this guy from Dub at the
yeah,
Lehigh
you're
Valley Toy Show.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
nice.
this is-
That's a toy
I believe
pizza.
he's a toy pizza
um,
guy.
It's awesome.
I don't know what his name is or anything, but I just, you know,
I like the
He's-
little
Forget the
metal
name of
flake in the
that one,
paint
yeah.
too. That's cool.
yeah, he's like purple, translucent with like sparkly flakes in him. So that's
That's
cool.
awesome.
He looks delicious.
Awesome.
And then this guy, I understand, is a custom from Dub, I believe. Well, I mean, I got it from Dub. I think he's the one who made it. How cool
Very
is that?
cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Oh, nice.
Super cool. Oh, Ryan, you were there
Yeah,
when I was
so
buying
that's
this,
also
right?
a toy pizza.
Yeah.
Knights of the Slice.
Yeah.
It's definitely something
That's
I like
cool.
about the Glyos thing, man. That you can get a bunch of those figures and it doesn't take up much real estate space, man.
Oh, I love that one, dude.
Yeah,
And then
that's
he
cool.
gave me that for the attachment.
Yeah, that's the Nintendo Power Glove. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's sick, dude. That's sick.
That's rad.
That's full on a Power
Yep.
Glove. That's awesome. Very cool.
Yes, that's the. Oh, sorry. Did I do this wrong? With a sprinkle of blasphemy to stop it all off. Yeah, it's always like a weird thing. Like I always feel a little bit weird when I'm talking about it because I don't want like to me like whenever I'm talking about action figures, like the whole thing is so hilarious to me that like it's always kind of a joke, even though I'm talking about something that I take kind of seriously. So like I don't want to like say something that's offensive or something like that when I'm talking about Blue Hagnon Jesus, but
Yeah. Well, how
Come
else
on.
do you describe it? You know what I mean? Yeah, where we can all understand it.
I did also buy SummerSlam tickets. So
Nice.
it's
Ooh.
funny. I was talking about my toy embargo earlier, except for the dragon, which if you think about it, the money I spent on the dragon was still as much as I ever would have spent probably on toys anyway, if not more. But I did two things. One, I bought SummerSlam tickets because SummerSlam is in New Jersey, wrestling event for those that don't know. So I'm excited about that at MetLife Stadium. And then a cool thing that I'm like, for a person that's gone to toy shows and comic shows and Comic Cons for a number of years now, I've never really been too focused on the comic aspect of it too much. Like whenever I go to like New York Comic Con, I try to buy like an independent comic or something like that from somebody's table. But the last couple of shows I went, I was like checking out like the comic bins, checking out the long boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know what's, because one thing even though it's weird, when I was young, I had comics, like I had Star Wars comics, I had some G.I. Joe comics, but I wasn't like a massive comic fan. And I really feel like I missed out because I think it's something that I really would have loved if I got into it more. And comics were always relatively cheap. So I feel like I could have probably,
Mhm.
right? But I've always loved looking back at old comics or looking back at my old comics, and I love seeing the old advertisements. I love the smell of the paper. I love everything about it. So I've kind of enjoyed going to comic shows more recently and looking through the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool because there are some properties that had like really relatively short comic runs
Mm-hmm.
where I'm like, dude, I could hunt and get this whole comic series,
Yeah.
and I'd have the joy of the hunt. These things are not really that expensive most of the time. They don't take up much room. So currently I'm hunting down the Crystar series.
Nice.
Nice.
I've won so
Yeah.
far. I've won.
Yeah. It's a good thing. I mean,
know
to
what a
catch
good
up on series that you haven't, ever either passed or missed as a kid, or during the comic book days that you were reading, is getting into like the compendiums or like the essentials, the old essentials books where
I
you
have
can
some
get.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great, especially
I
to
have some of
catch
the
up
G.I.
on
Joe
stuff that you
ones.
might have missed out on. Those are great.
What were you going to say, Bill?
I was going to say that the Thrawn series was turned into a comic book series, and
Mhm.
it's like I forget how many. Maybe it's like 6, 6, and 6, or 12, 12, and 12, or you know what I mean. It's like each book had its run, and it's like a good one to go chase down because
Mhm.
it's not like you're not necessarily going to find them all at once, but it'd be a fun one to collect and read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the older stuff is definitely the better stuff.
Yeah, I liked like I went to like one table and I was getting I think it was that table where I was getting like I found one crystal, and they're not super easy to find, but if you find them, they're not super expensive, so that's great. But
Yeah.
he was doing some kind of deal where like if you bought like 10 comics, like it was like $2 each or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And I'm just going through, and I'm like, I found like there were some Conan comics, and I was looking for like either consecutive issues or issues that were pretty close to each other. And then like I found like an Indiana Jones comic, and I'm like, I'm having a lot of fun just kind of like looking through these long boxes, seeing like something that might be cool. And I
Yeah.
was reading the Indiana Jones comic the other day, and I was like, this is freaking awesome. Like there was like a little adventure about like finding like a lost city in like the Himalayas or something like that, Ra Lundi.
Hmm.
So a way to indulge the thrill of the hunt in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Speaking of events, I went to a pretty awesome concert, the Sasanta tour, which was originally last year. It was for Maynard James Keenan's from Tool's
Mhm.
60th birthday, the Sasanta, and it was kind of like it was so successful that they did it. They did another tour of it this year. It was Primus, Pussifer, and Perfect Circle all
Nice.
touring together, but it wasn't a lineup. They were all set up on stage. So you had 3 drum kits. You had the Primus's drummer's kit, the Pussifer drummer's kit, and the
I saw a clip
the
from
Perfect
that.
Circle
Yeah,
drummer's
yeah.
kit. And you had all their instruments all set up. They could walk out at any point at any time and join in. And so like you would have like 3 songs that it started off with like 3 Perfect Circle songs, then 3 Pussifer songs, then 3 Primus songs, then back to Pussifer, and then the Primus drummer came on and you had 2 drummers playing on a Pussifer song, and then like it was like just
Nice.
always like intermingling and people coming in and on. At the end they did like the final song, and it was like literally everyone was on stage. You had 3 drummers at once, you had all 3, you probably had like 5 or 6 guitarists at once, all the bass players, like everybody just all out there just ripping. It was such a
That's
good show.
awesome. That kicks ass.
That's
Hell
freaking
yeah.
badass, dude.
Yeah.
I saw the clip. I remember they were doing Eulogy, Tool's Eulogy. Was it Eulogy? I think it was
They didn't
Eulogy.
play a single Tool song at the show I saw.
It was definitely a Tool song that they played. That
But
when I saw it, but
I do think the first tour, I think Danny Carey was jumping in on some of those shows, so they probably did some Tool songs on the first
maybe
on the
that's what it
first tour.
was.
It's awesome. Speaking of shows, I got next weekend, next Saturday, I'll be at Monster Palooza, man. I can't wait. That's gonna be a freaking
Oh,
awesome
nice.
show, dude.
So can you tell us
Yes.
about? So what is Monster Palooza?
Okay, so Monster Palooza is basically a horror con, and the great thing about Monster Palooza, now you have your standard con setup with the rows and rows of different vendors selling toys and this or that, but of course it's all horror related. It's all horror genre. So anything in the horror genre, whether it be old DVD movies or T-shirts or action figures, it's all there. But then the great thing about it, they also have within that area of the show where all the booths are, they also have a bunch of special effects studios that do all of like the masks and anything you could think of as far as horror special effects, and they have on display like some of their work, and it's beyond comprehension like how cool this stuff is. It's ridiculously cool. Like, and inside the place too, they also have like a stage where they have multiple studios that are doing live like makeup applications on people, so they're making people into zombies and space aliens, and I'm talking shit that's like crazy, like not like, oh, let's just put a little blood makeup on you. I'm talking like where people have like full blown like alien heads and just amazing stuff, and they're doing it live the whole show. It's probably one of the best cons I've ever been to. And if you're anywhere in the like, if you're in any type, way, shape, or form into horror or special effects, it's like the show never to miss, man. It's so good. It's so good. And I can't wait. Me and my kid are going. So yeah, that's next Saturday. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait to share the pictures with you guys.
Can't wait to see it. I do. A horror convention is something that I do want to go to. Like, they do have some of them here, like in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York area. And I feel like it would be cool to like go and like see like what kind of like how different conventions are, like I know that horror conventions, a lot of times they'll have like personalities and things like that are very similar to, like,
they have a ton of people there as far as like signings and stuff like that, like the meet and greet kind of thing. Tons of people show up to that show.
Because so I have tickets for WrestleCon. So SummerSlam is happening in August in New Jersey. And whenever you have like a really, really big event like that, a lot of times there'll be other stuff that pops up around it. And there's like this wrestling convention, WrestleCon, that is typically going to be in the same city as like WrestleMania or SummerSlam. So there's going to be a WrestleCon convention, a wrestling convention at in the same area as where SummerSlam is in New Jersey. But I went to WrestleCon when WrestleMania was in Philly last year, and it's such a different experience. It's way different than like a Comic-Con or a toy convention. Like a Comic-Con or a toy can like, San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con to a lesser extent, different. But most toy conventions, comic conventions, they're about like walking up and down the rows.
Right.
At each table, like looking at all this stuff, like a very sort of like a slow paced experience, My experience at like a wrestling convention it's like a scavenger hunt, basically. Like most of the convention is just tables with like wrestlers and wrestling personalities, and people are there to like meet them, take pictures with them, get like stuff signed. Like I got Lex Luger was there last year, and I got him to sign this Lex Luger figure that I've had on card since the 80s. So I got this when I was a kid.
Nice.
But it's like that collecting mentality is still there, but it's very much like it's amped up to like scavenger hunt level. And it's like, all right, who are you going to get? You're going to get this person. Oh, I need to get this person. Like, no, that's going to be too long of a wait. Like, it's still fun. It's still cool. I mean, you got to be into wrestling, obviously. But
yeah.
It's totally different than like a toy convention or a comic convention. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's why I enjoy Monster Palooza so much, because it's just one of these cons that there's so much extra stuff not to purchase. It's not like there's obviously the retail side of it, because they have all the vendor tables that have all their shit for sale, but there's so much more to see at that con than just the tables. It's just the experience and getting to see up close and personal some of the work that some of these studios do, and like the sculpting and it's just, like I said, it's beyond comprehension, like how cool some of this stuff is. And you're just like, wow, it's amazing stuff.
So when you're going, you said you're going with your son, right?
Yeah.
So is there like any particular like movie or artist or actor or anything like that that you guys will be looking for, or that you're excited to see, or anything like that?
Oh yeah, my kid's actually going dressed up as Ghostface
Oh,
from
nice.
the
Fuck
Scream
yeah.
movie. He went and bought a full costume. Like just the other day he got it. He's like super stoked and super geeked to go dress as because I don't know who's going to be there from the original cast of Scream is going to be there, and he wants to like take pictures with them. He's like he's like dedicated to it. He's like, I'm doing it. He's like, it's on. But we met Bruce Campbell from
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, we met Bruce Campbell. I met Linda Blair from The Exorcist. There's a, I mean, like I said, we met the guy who played Freddy Krueger, the original guy who played
Robert Englund?
Jason. Yeah, Robert Englund. We met him. I met the original guy who played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies.
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder. Yeah, I met him. You name it, dude. As far as horror genre, yeah. And I met a bunch of like the real big names in horror special effects guys, like different, guys that have been in huge movies. It's all kinds of guys. There's tons of freaking people there, dude. Tons. It's really cool.
You have like a favorite horror movie or horror movie franchise?
The Thing is probably my favorite. I guess you could call it a horror movie, but that's literally John Carpenter's The Thing is like my all-time favorite freaking horror movie. I mean, I was huge into like all of those movies as a kid. I'm not so much now into the horror thing. Like horror isn't like really my thing, but the old stuff is, like I said, I mean, again, it's like the nostalgia of it, but just going down there and just like I said, seeing all the crazy special effects and just the sculpting and the stuff that they have on display, it's just crazy. Here, also, I'm gonna send you a picture real quick.
Seems like there would be a cool crossover of like just cool people that go too. Like the people that would go to like a horror convention, like seems like there would be some crossover with like toy conventions and Comic Cons, but just
Oh
like,
yeah, it's the same. It's the Comic Con convention crowd. Absolutely, you know what I mean. It's that definitely type of crowd, but yeah, it's like, okay, so what I'm sending you was a studio that right in the middle of their booth, like you could totally walk into their booth and walk around. Right in the middle of the booth
Mhm.
was he was like a 6'2", 300+ pound man
just
that
like me.
was laying on the ground. And dude, it was so realistic. Like I literally was walking past and like, this dude's gonna just like jump up and like, jump scare me and like fucking freak me out. That's how real it looked. It's freaking crazy. Watch, I'll show you. I'll send you the picture.
I can say
And
my
like I said,
favorite.
it's stuff that you would never in your life see anywhere else, and that's what makes this show so cool. It's just like, what in the hell? Like, this is insane. Yeah, check that out.
What the
Get it?
hell?
Yeah,
Ah!
and it was literally life size, and it looks so real, dude. It was like it was creepy, dude. It's
horrifying,
stuff like
dude.
this that's all over this show. That's just like, oh my god, like
You gonna
what
pull
is
it up
going
or what?
on?
I gotta see this. Or is this
That dude
is
is
gonna
dead for
shut
sure.
the channel down?
Oh my god.
We're done. Don't look too
Yeah.
close. We've got 3.
Is that crazy
It
or
almost
what?
looks. It almost doesn't even look like.
It was
photograph.
life
It almost-
size, dude. Yeah, it was life size, dude. It was, and
That's
it was
crazy.
so weird. And you had to like literally, it was like that was in the center of there, so you're like walking around that thing like inches from it. And I'm like, dude, this guy's gonna like reach out and grab my ankle or something, dude, and I'm gonna piss myself. But yeah, it's stuff like this. It's like special effects stuff that you just, like I said, you would never see this at a regular Comic Con. You know what I mean? Like. And and that's, like I said, that's stuff like that's literally like the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that they have on display all throughout this show. It's insane, man.
Something
insane.
about that reminded me of the movie 7. Like it was very disturbing.
Yeah. It's just fucking totally creepy, man. Just such freaking creepy shit.
But
I have
yeah.
a coworker who used to go to Monster Palooza like every year out here
Yeah.
in Boston, and he would
Oh,
make the trip
okay.
out. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, the one we
Just
have
as a
out here in
fan, you know?
Pasadena is fucking amazing. Such an amazing show.
So I along the same lines as like the horror thing. Listen to this. Can I tell you this? So I forget how it happened, but a month or a couple of months ago, Victoria and I were just talking about something in front of the kids, something about like, and we, casually dropped like, oh, Final Destination moment, right? Yeah, oh, totally, Final Destination moment, right?
Right.
From the Final Destination movies. And Chase happened and I don't know why he latched onto it, but like, he was like, Final Destination. He's like, what's that? And we're like, oh, it's like this scary movie from like the early 2000s or whatever. And he's like, well, what's it about? And we're like, well, it's like about like, these kids that somehow like cheat death. They were supposed to die and then they don't, and then death comes back and tries to get all of them. And sort of like the gimmick of the movie is that there's a bunch of like everyday situations, and it's kind of like any situation can kill you type of thing. So like some of those scenes have become like famous and stuff like that, and he became like fascinated with it, and like he was watching like YouTube theory shows about it and all this different stuff, and he was like, he wanted to like watch them, and I'm like, dude, no way, like it's too, like they're horror movies or whatever, right? He's 14 now. And when we were like in the 80s, like I don't know about you guys, but I'm fairly certain most of us, if not all of us, saw a bunch of movies that were R-rated. All the Freddy movies, Halloween, Jason, all that stuff in the 80s. I saw all that stuff way before I was 14.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was just on TV. It was obviously edited and stuff, but it was still freaking scary. Like I remember watching like Poltergeist and stuff, like super young, and just being really just disturbed by that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so we started watching them, and I was like, all right, we're like, all right. He was like into it. He kept talking about it. I'm like, all right. And the reason, one of the things that happened too, is that there was a new one just came out like this weekend. Last weekend or something. And I was like, all right, we can start watching it, because I really remembered the first one. And I was like, I'm sure you can at least watch like the first half an hour, because it doesn't really show anything. It's more like, I don't know if you remember the first Final Destination movie, but essentially it's a group of kids that are going on a field trip to France, and they're supposed to be on this plane or whatever. They're on this plane, they're getting ready to go, and one of the kids has essentially a premonition about the plane crashing. So he has the premonition and he freaks out and he's like, I gotta get off. And he gets off, and somehow a bunch of other kids get off too. Plane does crash, right? And then death comes back for the kids. That's the crux of the movie. But I remember that being really good, actually. And I was like, all right, so we'll watch it. And I was like, we'll probably stop it after that. So we're watching it. We watched the first half an hour. That's fine. First 40 minutes. That's fine. I'm like, all right, when the first death happens, you have to close your eyes. I'll tell you when to close your eyes, and then we'll go from there. But he ended up watching the whole movie, and like, it really wasn't that crazy. It was nothing like a Freddy Krueger movie. Like it wasn't even close. So we kept watching them. Like he was like into it, like, and so we watched every Final Destination movie, including like 3 of them that I'd never seen before. And he was just like so into it. Like he was like, all right, Daddy, help me rank the deaths. Like which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones are like the most annoying characters. You guys have had a lunch with Chase, so you know how it
Oh yeah, he's into it, man.
Yeah.
So we watched every Final Destination movie, and now the new one is out. And I'm thinking about going to the movies with him. I even Googled, I'm like, can you take a 14-year-old to an R movie? And it's like, yes, you can if you're a parent.
Yeah.
And he's all excited about it, because he's like, once we finish that, we can do our final rankings of all the Final Destination movies, all the Final Destination deaths, all that stuff. So
that's funny.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, tell me, like, how for you, aside from this being a bonding experience, of course, but like, how was it going back and watching those? Like, I have not seen those. And like you, I probably have like seen only like 2 or 3, but like, how was it going back? Did they hold up? Were they decent?
Most of them are a chore, to be perfectly honest with you. Like they don't like, and so the first one I think is honestly a fun movie to watch. Like not as good as a Scream, but a similar feeling type of deal.
Yeah.
Except that it takes itself kind of seriously, whereas Scream doesn't a lot. The first one I think is actually pretty well done. The concept works. There's things there that like you get the tinglies, because you're like, again, you're in situations that you could be in everyday life, and like it could happen out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is okay. They kind of suck after that. They're kind of like
Yeah.
not super great after that. There's, I guess, so what the new one that just came out is the sixth one, I think. It's the fifth or sixth one. So the last one that came out wasn't that bad, and the ending was cool. It's sort of, I don't know if there's a real spoiler thing here, but there's something about the last one that's kind of cool at the end, I thought. But overall, they're not very good movies. The first one I think is cool. The second one is okay. Beyond that, they weren't that great.
Yeah, it's like I think about back when I was a kid, like in elementary school, watching the Friday the 13th movies and thinking, oh my god, this is like the scary. And like going back now and watching some of those movies, I'm like, this movie's so stupid. like some of them are so bad. I'm like, what did I like? It's so corny. Like some of those movies are so corny. I'm just like, how is this even a horror movie? It's like a fucking bad B comedy. You know what I mean?
I thought
so
the same
funny.
thing about Child's Play.
Oh yeah,
It
Oh, yeah.
used to
Oh, for
scare
sure.
the shit out of me, but now
Yeah.
I watch it and I laugh because the fucking just some of the shit that he says is ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's funny.
it's all played for laughs.
Yeah. They like I said, a lot of those horror genre movies do not hold up later on down the line. But like I said, my favorite is The Thing, and that movie, golden. Every single time I watch, I fucking love that movie.
I still think Halloween is Halloween is the original Halloween is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
ever.
the original one. Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
The score for it, like the Halloween theme that John Carpenter wrote, is awesome. Just it was just like everything about it, like the fall theme, like the fact that he like kind of like shows up sort of in the background. Jamie Lee Curtis does a really good job. Although I've seen videos about Halloween now, which sort of like I never thought about it growing up and like the millions of times that I've seen that movie, but they filmed that movie in California, right? So like even though they made it look like it was fall time, like I saw this video where they were talking about it where like all of the leaves that you see blowing around, like they had those in trash bags.
Yeah.
So like at the end of every scene, it would be somebody's job to go run and try to get all the leaves, gather them up. Or if you look in the background in some of the shots, you can see like palm trees.
Yeah. You're like, really?
But it's pretty cool. So
yeah.
So we might see that at some point. Tomorrow, I'm taking my daughter and my two nieces to see the live action Lilo and Stitch movie. So I'm not looking forward to seeing that movie at all, to be perfectly honest with you. But I'm very excited to take my little nieces out and my daughter to something cool. I think they're all excited. So
yeah,
everybody
it's definitely
could use
about
a nice little nap in the middle of Sunday.
Exactly. Yep. Just if you have those nice reclining seats in the theater, put your feet up and lay back. And
it's a dine-in too. I'm getting some
nice.
kind of snack while I'm in there.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man,
Enjoy
I don't.
a nice beverage and a friggin' little lunch.
Chicken finger basket is the highlight of your day when you're.
Yeah, I wish there's some like now. I'm nostalgic now for some of the dishes that the AMC dine-in used to have. They used to have a shrimp gumbo macaroni and cheese that was fun.
Oh,
nice.
dude, perfect!
It was
so good. So good.
You had it?
Yes,
Oh,
they had it at the one around me.
yes.
It's just gone. Just gone.
Yeah, if they've just got like a chicken mac, I still get it, but like it's not as good as the old one.
It's funny.
I still haven't been to the Alamo Draft House that opened up in Boston. Like I need to get out. I need to get there. I've never been. It's supposed to be awesome.
Yeah, I've heard about those. They sound awesome.
Hey, speaking of Boston, that's definitely one on my very soon to be hit list as far as places to travel. So I'll definitely have to hit you up, Bill, and figure out the best course of action. Figure out where I want to go.
Like how soon? Like this summer or
no, probably in the next year or so. Probably in the next year. Yeah. This year, the last trip we have planned, obviously we went to Seattle for a few days. Our next trip is obviously New Jersey for Legion's Con. And then next year all goes well, my mom and my brother and myself, we're doing Rome,
Nice.
Whoa,
Rome,
Fuck.
Florence, and Paris. Yeah,
sick, dude.
Awesome,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's got to be
So,
like, is that going to be like 2 weeks?
yeah, easily 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're thinking
yeah.
a full 14 days.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
Hell
hit
yeah.
Paris and Rome, you gotta do 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
been to
So,
Paris. Paris is cool.
yeah.
My favorite part was the Louvre, the
Mhm.
museum.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
Louvre is
Incredible.
awesome.
Yeah, but definitely, but in the United States, Boston is definitely one of those places. It's like a major hit list for me, where I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do Boston.
I've never hung out in Boston ever. I still got to do it.
Yeah,
And it feels like a good it feels like I could do Boston for like a weekend trip. I think take the
Mhm.
family up there, see like a Red Sox game. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I could do maybe would 3-4 days be sufficient in Boston?
Yeah, it depends on what time of year and what you want to do
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how far, like what kind of like what your focus is. But if you wanted to stay at a hotel downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and just hit up downtown, just hit up like Boston proper for 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
you could totally
Yeah, yeah.
have a good
I mean,
time. Yeah.
I'm always about the, historical features,
Yep.
museums, stuff like that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not a huge, I mean, if I can go to a Red Sox game, I mean, that would be cool. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't,
Plan
pass on
around
it
it,
if it was, but it's not like my focal
yeah,
point. You know what I
you
mean?
don't plan around it, but if it happens, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the MFA is pretty big. I mean, you could spend one whole day at the MFA,
Mm-hmm.
the Museum of Fine Arts. Like it is big.
That's definitely something I would do. Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, that would 100%. I would do that.
And then you'd probably want to do like a walking. I don't even think you would need like a tour, but just check off a bunch of the lists and walk around in the historic city and do some
Yeah,
shopping and just check out like Paul Revere's house and like that's all like it's all right there in
yeah,
walking
yeah,
distance. That's
yeah.
the cool thing. If you stay downtown, like the MFA is the only like MFA and like Back Bay would be the things you would maybe like take the train to, but the T is super easy
Mm-hmm.
and like then you're like in walking distance to Faneuil Hall, Paul Revere's house, like the old area where the Union Oyster House is, like all of that like old town Boston old city stuff. It's all
Mm-hmm.
right in like this little walking distance area.
Nice.
Um
Yeah, that's what
so
I
yeah.
found was really great about when I went to Philadelphia and I spent all those extra days after ZoloCon. I just totally went, drove in town and parked and just walked all of Philadelphia and went to all those amazing historical sites and saw the Liberty Bell and, I mean, all that stuff down there. I went to the Museum of Art with Stephanie Ork. Me and her went one day and went to the museum, and that was amazing, man. It was an amazing experience, and I got to see everything I wanted to see within that city. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
yeah, Boston's definitely, like I said, it's high up there on that hit list, which I'm definitely going to come and do. So yeah, I want to definitely get together with you and see what's up, and hopefully, like while I'm down there, we can get together for some dinner or whatever. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
have you seen those? They're like played for laughs, like comedy videos, like little sketches where it's like there's this woman or this girl like doing tours, like New England tours,
No.
where it's
I
like
haven't
sort of
seen
played
that.
for laughs. No, it's like I don't know how to describe it. She's like has like a really dry humor, and she's taking people and like she tells them like completely like the complete wrong things, like about like what the building is or something like that. I don't know.
I definitely have heard of like the rude. I don't know what it's called, but it's like some guy who takes you on this rude tour, and he's like this like asshole, and he like just takes you on a tour, and he's like mean to you and like mean to everybody, and he's just like a dick. He's just like a classic like Boston like guy who's just taking you around and just like fucking bullshitting on everything.
That's funny.
What's the rat balcony? I don't remember that.
I
From
don't. Can
Departed?
you see the rat balcony from Departed? I don't remember where. I don't remember like where that happened.
Yeah, and in the background, there's a famous building. It's got like a dome top that's like gold.
Yeah,
you can
that's
see it in the
right. That's the state building.
state building. Yeah, you could see it from that balcony. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
There needs to be a, Travis says, there needs to be a museum of museums, so I only need to go to one place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of museums in Boston, but I would
Yeah.
say, like, if you're going to do one museum, you do the MFA.
Yeah,
it's
I always
so
do my
rich with
research on
history.
museums too, because there's always multiple museums, and a lot of them are good, but there's always the one that's like the not to miss one. So, that's definitely I'll do my research on that for sure. But yeah, man, like I said, I've been thinking about Boston a lot, and it was one of those things when I was first. Well, the first intention was that when I went to ZoloCon and I was going to spend those extra days in Philadelphia, my mom was actually going to come with me, and we had talked about, while we were there, doing Philadelphia and then driving to Boston and doing Boston as
That's
well.
a haul.
But we realized like how far it was. We're like, oh shit, that's like that's definitely another trip to be made. You know what I mean? Later on. So
yeah, but when you were talking about the Frazetta Museum, I was like, dude, that's a haul from ZoloCon from Philly going up to the Frazetta Museum. That's not like it's not close.
yeah. It was like a 2-hour drive. It wasn't bad though. It was an easy ride, and that was cool, man. I was totally game. I mean, even though I went solo and did it by myself, I was like, fuck, I'm here, dude. While I'm in Rome, you know what I mean? I'm doing it.
2 hours, like, your drive doesn't take up your whole day.
Yeah.
But like when you're driving 6 hours to Boston or whatever it is, 5-6 hours from Philly to Boston, like that, your whole day is that drive.
Yeah.
You know?
And what made it really cool too was after I did the Frazetta Museum, which was a 2-hour drive from Zolo, it was cool because I went straight to Guasagoy's family's home, and that was only like 15 minutes from the Frazetta Museum, which was really cool. So I got to hang out with that. So that was like, that was like the icing on the cake for the day, man. It was really cool to just go hang out with some great people and just enjoy myself. And while I'm in town, you know what I mean, just come visit some folks. It was really cool.
If you come to Boston, are you into like how much of a foodie are you? Like, are you into like just like exploring foods?
Turn me loose, bro. That's all I'm saying. Turn me loose.
You gotta come North Shore. The one thing like outside of Boston is just come North Shore and either get like some like clam shack type stuff or North Shore like roast beef, which is a total local thing that you cannot, it's like, it's different everywhere else. It's a very specific thing. Like, come get the North Shore roast beef and maybe like a clam plate or something.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm all about it, dude. I'm all about it. I love they have that huge like food marketplace in Philadelphia that I went down to, and man, I was fucking destroying. Yeah, the Reading Market, dude. I was fucking destroying in that place, dude. I had like these like a corned beef sandwich, like a Philadelphia corned beef sandwich. I was eating Philly cheesesteaks. Just fucking everything, dude. Everything I could get my hands on, I was tearing up. It was so good. Yeah, like I said, when I'm in a city, take me to the spots that need to be had as far as food, because I'm on. It's one of those things I definitely indulge in big time.
Yeah, you said you went to Seattle. That's probably like number one on my list of American cities that I want to go to and hang out. Like, Pacific Northwest in general, but like especially Seattle.
Seattle is a lot of fun. 3 days is all you need too, man. 3 days is plenty time in Seattle, because it's not. It looks like a big giant city, but the stuff that you want to see is not. It's really close, and it's not a whole. It doesn't take up a lot of time.
I want to hit up wine country again. I did wine country. I did like Russian River and Napa in 2010-ish. So, like we're talking like 15 years ago at this point. But I would love to go back to Russian River Valley.
if you like wine and want to do wine country, let me know, dude, and plan out a trip to California, and you could stay right here in our home, dude. And we're 15 minutes away from Temecula, which is
nice,
huge wine country, dude. We have 30 different wineries in Temecula, which is, like I said, it's literally 15 minutes down the road from us. It's all there, dude. And that's freaking fantastic wineries, dude. I mean, some probably the best in California. Yeah, if you're into that, if you ever want to indulge, bro, let me know. Like I said, we're right down the street from it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
As you can see, I put up this hashtag here that people have already put in the chat without even knowing. I did mention it. I have a Biblical Adventures weapon set 1. So weapon set 1. I'm
Nice.
going to give this away to one of our
To go with your
here.
Enoch.
Yes, exactly. So you get 2 shields, 3 swords, a pitchfork type thing, and a staff. There you go.
Mhm.
Brand new from D13 Biblical Adventures. We'll pull that in a little bit. But yeah, so when we get done here, probably have a few more beers. Possibly order some sushi or something else. Sushi is the main thing that I wanted to have to eat for my birthday weekend. I already had sushi last night. Might go sushi again today. For your birthday,
The thing is, like, when you overindulge in sushi, it's not like a huge guilt thing because it's actually pretty healthy. You know, it's like it's clean.
Yeah.
It's pretty light. You know, so of all the things to like double up on, that's probably one of the best.
Yeah, the other day when we went down to downtown LA, me and my buddy, before we left our lunch, we had a all-you-can-eat sushi, and man, we indulged the hell out of it. And I don't really do sushi. Like I'm literally like, rolls and stuff like that. I don't really do like a lot of the other raw stuff,
Nigiri
or
and
whatever.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but he was like ordering all kinds of extra stuff that I had never tried before, and I tried eel for the first time. I'd never tried eel. I was like, holy shit, this stuff is great. And I was like,
Yeah,
I mean, we were
eel's
just
good.
being gluttons, man, just freaking going for it at that table. Is freaking great.
Rob Zamora says Maynard has a wine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does Claypool. There were two.
Oh, cool.
There were two winery. I mean, I guess, yeah, winery owners on stage at the same time at that concert.
Nice. Speaking of when you were talking about Primus and that concert you went to, shit, man, I saw Primus. It was Primus, Fishbone, and Fear.
Nice.
I saw them in 90. I think it was 92 or 93.
Mhm.
And when Fear hit the stage, like 3 or 4 songs in, like a full-blown riot broke out in the fucking, where like the cops had to like tear gas the fucking place, and like it broke out into the streets. It was savage.
Crazy.
It was savage. But that, yeah, I remember, and that was way back in the early days of Primus. So yeah, Les Claypool was on, man. That was so fucking cool seeing that guy play. Very cool. Definitely a show to remember.
Trevor says Indian food for him. There is also an Indian place. I was thinking
go for
about
some
possibly getting Indian sometime this weekend.
I'm gonna admit, I've never tried Indian food. I've never been to an Indian place. I wouldn't even know what is the courses or what's to eat in a Indian place.
A lot of rich sauces, a lot of spice,
a lot of spices,
a lot
some
of rice.
different flavors, some cinnamon, stuff like that. Curry, obviously. I love Indian food. Because I'm of mixed racial background, let's say. Like my mom was Italian and Irish, she was white, and then my dad was Indian. And my wife Victoria always makes fun of me. She's like, you have an Indian man's palate and a white man's stomach.
I'm on like a hot sauce craze this past like couple years. Like I have to have, if it's anything that's like that can take hot sauce, I'm loading it up with hot sauce. Like
are you into like the really freaking stupid like hot sauces, like all those crazy like ghost pepper shit, and like
certain really hot ones, like the Carolina Reaper, I think it's like, supposedly like one of the hotter ones. Like in that, I really like sauces that have Reaper in them. But I don't need it to be like painfully hot. I like a lot of heat. But if it's got a lot of flavor, like at our Mexican place, and it's kind of like, it's like a very like Americanized, like white, kind of like catering to white people type Mexican place, even though it's Mexican owners and stuff, they tend to have like, a little more like Americanized stuff.
Audience type thing.
Yeah. They have a secret hot sauce that they make. Well, they make all their hot sauces, but like they have 2 that they just like anybody like asks for, but there's like a secret one that you ask for. And it's like, I think it's mostly jalapenos, but it's like it's super super hot, and it's like the most flavorful hot sauce. It's like an oil based like roasted peppers like type hot sauce. It's amazing. So like I need like a lot of good flavor in it, but I do also really like the heat.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
like
always on the
I like
lookout.
the flavor. I like the flavors in hot sauce. I'm a pussy when it comes to heat, dude. I can't. It like ruins my meal if it's too
Yeah,
hot. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm just like,
that's how I
oh
used to be.
Jesus! Like
I
it's
used to be
like,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, I can't do it. It's just something I can't enjoy.
I love spices and spicy food. I don't typically go for like the super super spicy. Like
Yeah.
I like some kick to it. Like I like some
Yeah,
heat.
yeah.
I like to feel it, but I'm not in it just for that. The worst the worst spice story I can remember. We were in college, so take that into account. And we had a place called Cluck U. I don't know if you've heard of this Cluck University, Cluck U. It's a wing place, right? And they have obviously different spice levels, different heat levels for their different sauces. So we had gone out, some of us had gone out, drinking in college. And I'd had a few potentially, and made it back to my friend's apartment, and he had ordered Cluck U. And he's like, oh, you want some? And there was some there, and we had gone out drinking. So of course I wanted some, right? So I dove in. I'm like, oh, this is so good. It was like so like, and it's college chicken wings, so they're like disgusting, wet, saucy, like all this. And I made it through like 4 or 5 wings. And I'm like, this is fantastic. And all of a sudden I'm like, what kind of wings are these? And he had gotten like the super atomic or whatever it was. And the thing was, I didn't realize that until I was like 4, 5, 6 wings in.
Oh,
And that was a painful pain. Like just in my mouth, it was painful. So
yeah, that changes the situation real fast. And it's like it's like that after effect where it doesn't come on for like a few minutes,
Yeah,
and then
for a
you're like,
while.
wait a minute, wait, what's going on?
One thing we've gotten lately that we've been able to get delivered is dosa. They're like these Indian crepes that are like stuffed with these like meats and stuff. And they come with they come with these sauces that are just like melt your face hot, which I like I said, I kind of I love it because they're not just burning, they're also
Yeah.
like super flavorful.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so dosa, I don't know if it's like a chain. It really feels like a chain when we order this place because it's like these really fancy like clamshell type packages that are like designed for these long ass wraps. Essentially, they're like it's like a wrap that's like it's like this long of a wrap.
Jesus.
It's like this thing long wrap, and it's like almost unwieldy to eat it. But like the meats are all minced up and like it's just like a really nice.
It sounds delicious.
Spicy in, spicy out. Yeah, you gotta be responsible.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
eat hot, you can't go like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Because then you're wrecked. But
Yeah.
I got a hot sauce story that it's about Amber. So we went into it was like a jerky place, and they have like an assortment of different hot sauces they bring in, and they're all insanely hot. They had like the pretzel nuggets, and they had a couple of dishes where you could try like different sauces, and it looked like honey mustard. So
Oh.
Amber's like, oh, I'm going to give that a try. So she dips it. She's like, oh, this isn't bad. And then we're walking around the store, and she starts sweating. She was like, oh, I don't feel so good. And dude, the hot sauce was called colon cleaner. And it came in like
I
a
hate
wooden
that.
box that was like an outhouse. I was like, oh, dude, it fucked up the rest of her day.
that's so gross. I will say
That
this.
is bad.
There are some really good hot sauces with mustard, like mustard based, like
Yeah.
like I have one that's I think it's like a Scotch bonnet with mustard in it, and it's oh man, it's like the perfect chicken hot sauce. It's so fucking good.
Sorry, Amber. She's here.
That's the worst, dude. Like I said, that'll ruin a whole meal and a day. You get destroyed like that by a freaking super hot sauce, man. That's
Yeah,
why,
it's
like I
one
said, I know my limits. So I'll do a little bit of this and that. But when I see those real spice, I'm like, nope, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I'm more into it if
There's-
it's like an accent type,
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
There's one hot sauce that's supposed to be good that I haven't found at the store, which is the Tabasco scorpion sauce. Have any of you guys gotten that one?
Scorpion, no, and I like Tabasco.
Yeah,
It's Tabasco brand, and it's scorpion peppers hot sauce, and it's supposed to be awesome. And I haven't found it yet. I got it.
It's not in my market. Like I work in a grocery store, and we don't have that. We have maybe 3 or 4 different varieties of Tabasco, but not that's I've never seen that scorpion.
The selection my store has. It's like they have a couple different ones, but they don't have the scorpion one. But it's supposed to be awesome, and and it's like $3. It's like a I'll order online and I'll try to get a hot sauce. And it's like fucking $20 for a bottle of hot sauce.
Crazy.
Some of that stuff's crazy price.
You know, like if you can get a good $3 bottle of something like at the grocery store, that would be sweet. Like I'm looking for that. You know.
So are you a collector of hot sauce now?
Not really, because I eat them. It's like they go that, like there's only so many you can have before it's like you have so many that it's eventually going to be like you throw it out. You know what I mean? Because you just don't eat it all, So it's like I try to only have like a couple.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I meant not so much like collect to keep, but like as in like hunting down like another. Are you in like a hot sauce like? Do you get hot sauce news on your social media feeds type of thing? Are there hot sauces to track down?
No, like once in a while, if I finish a bottle of hot sauce that I have, I'll go on like Reddit and like look around and see what people are eating, and try to find something that way. But usually it just comes down to like going back to my same old places and just getting like.
I'll tell you one thing I picked up on. Thank you to Trevor Williams for the input on it that I cannot believe I never indulged in this the years past, but hot honey. I freaking hot honey on pizza, man. I freaking went and got myself a bottle of hot honey, and I was like, dude, I've gone through like 3 bottles of that shit because I put it on everything now. I put it on chicken, on pizza, whatever. I love that stuff. It's so good, and it's got a banging taste, man. It's just like, wow, this is really good. I'm like, I can't believe I've never indulged in this because I was never really like into honey. Like I'm just not a honey guy, you know what I mean? But that hot honey, man, holy shit, that's great. That is great.
I was just looking for, I can't find the name of it. I'll just look. There's a bottle in my fridge. I have bought a couple of times. There's this one hot sauce brand where I've bought like the combo pack a couple of times that has some really great stuff. I want to say it's Freshly, something like that. But there's 2 in particular that are really good. One that's called Island Vibes, and it's got like some almost like a mango habanero, something like that, but it's got a sweetness and a hot to it, which is really good. And then they do like a Parmesan garlic hot sauce. So it's almost like a Frank's, like if they poured like grated Parmesan cheese into it and mixed it up. It's incredible on pizza. Like on pizza with this Parmesan garlic hot sauce. Oh
yeah,
good, dude.
Hell yeah.
So, hey, look.
Making me hungry. I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah. maybe
we'll freaking
on it.
Hot honey on pizza is amazing, bro. Amazing.
Reynolds is mentioning Sticker Mule hot sauce. That's who made the Mythic Legions hot sauce. That was like you can like get your own brand put on theirs. That's what that was.
Did you get that? I don't know how many bottles that.
I bought a bottle, and guess what? I tried it at the restaurant, and I left my fucking bottle there. I forgot to take it. I left it at the restaurant at Legion's Con.
Bummer.
The Irish pub. It was fine. Whatever. I don't know. Like it wasn't anything special to me.
It was more of like a thing to like, right?
Yeah. I kind of wish I had just kept the bottle and just like had it just to put on my shelf.
Yeah.
All right, let's give away this weapon set.
Hell yeah.
Quick. Let's see how many people are in here. Giveaway tool. Not that many. We got good odds here. All right, last chance to win the Biblical Adventures weapon pack. Weapon set number 1. Couple of shields, couple of swords, staff, pitchfork, all that good stuff. I'll ship it out to you. Hashtag JFT. Those are my initials because it's my birthday weekend. And here's your last
middle name.
Francis is my middle name. Francis.
Okay.
It was and although it didn't make a lot of sense, it was sort of a reference to JFK, even though there's no iteration where my last name was going to be K, and JFK's middle name was not Francis, it was Fitzgerald, but still. And my name's not John, it's Jonathan, but that's where it came from, JF. Thanks, Pat. All right. Go. There you go. Oh, Eric Miller's in the house too. What's up, Eric?
What's up, dude?
Here we go. Let's give away this weapons pack in 3, 2, 1.5. Good luck. Here we go.
It's a hashtag of lies, says Ryan Clark.
And it is Kevin Hamilton. Congratulations.
Congrats.
I don't think Kevin's won before. So shoot me a message on Facebook or on Instagram at Hedgehog Action. Shoot out the Kevin Hamilton. Okay, good. And I'll get this out to you. Hold on one second. Let me check one thing. Here we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to know. So it reminded me, because it's the D13. The D13 weapons pack. I should give a shout out to the D13 fundraiser, which is going on still. You can go to dirksdesignsandcustoms.com and order a Chris Garich 3D printed head. And again, the whole idea behind this is D13 is one of the companies that got hit with a big giant tariff charge kind of out of nowhere.
$25,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, oh, by the way, now you owe $25,000 to get this product that you've already sold into the country that you owe to people. So,
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
So Dirk and Jordan and Van, and I don't know if anybody else was sort of involved, wanted to do something sort of to help. So we've got this Chris Garich head sculpt, which is available from dirkdesignsandcustoms.com. Okay, Pat says that Dirk's site is on hold as he is away in Japan. You can still, as far as I know, because I just went to the site, you can still purchase it. It just might not get shipped out until he gets back. $15 a head. All the proceeds go to. Oh, okay. Sorry. I see what you mean now. Well, keep it in mind anyway. Keep it in mind.
Also, he's going to finish up shipping in the next few weeks. And then at some point I presume he's going to have stock on his direct site.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to hold out for that, that's like another way to directly help him. Obviously there's retailers who you might want to help out as well, who are also impacted by all this tariff stuff, like Nerdzoic, like they have Chris's stuff. But if you want to directly help Chris, wait for his like in stock stuff. But I will say this though, if there's a very specific figure you want, you may want to get it sooner than later, because who knows if he's going to have like literally everything available or just certain ones. But he will put that stuff on his site at some point.
Yeah, good call. So sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Dirk had flown out to Japan. But yeah, if you go to his site now, I looked a little bit closer and the stuff is listed as sold out. But keep it in mind, my understanding is when he comes back, I don't know when that will be, but those sales will resume. Same deal. But here I just went to the D13 website, clicked on shop now, and there are some things here. You can still get a D13 hoodie.
Some of the older exclusives, yeah. Some good
pens
stuff in
here
there, for sure.
The Christmas exclusives. Some of them are
corn demons.
Yeah, you can get yourself a blue demon right now. You can get a lot of stuff here. You can
pink angel, proceeds.
You would
Support
still
breast
get a
cancer.
purple demon right now.
There you go. Actually, don't know if I even have one of those. I might have to.
I don't. I might need to grab one of these. Actually, it is my birthday.
I have. It's just like I have so many. It's tough. Like there's so many demons.
Although this is what I really wanted.
The chocolate ones are like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
guy's
silver.
out of stock.
Oh, it's out. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Christmas angels, the the breast cancer angel, you can still grab that. The chocolate angels, the Zolocon demon. Those demons are cool figures. I mean, there's a ton of them, but they're really cool.
Yep.
They're fun.
Yeah, I love all
And
the
I'll
color.
say
I
this
love
too.
all the colorways too.
Like the production ones are a step up. Like those are all minimal paint apps. They're very simple. Like they're cool paint apps with the like some of them have the fading with the shading and stuff, but like the new ones that are the production stuff is beautiful. Like they have like stonework type paint jobs. They have reds and blues. Like they're like fully painted, where these are more like cast in plastic and then like sprayed at like certain parts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Joe Fest D13 exclusive? I didn't see that.
Oh, he dropped it. I don't know that I saw it.
Cool. I did not see that. Patina demons. Oh, that's fun.
Yep.
He's gonna hit every kind of demon you can possibly have. We're gonna have zebra demons, tiger demons, leopard demons, translucent demons, metallic demons. Chris, where's my metallic demons? We need metallic demons.
He's got the metallic angel.
2 army angels and a blue centurion. Oh my god. So that's cool.
Oh, right. He told me about those. I don't think I've seen them yet though. But yeah, like the army ones.
Cool. All right, so there you
Army
go.
as in like the old green army. I want to say that might be what he said it was going to be. Like the old green army, little army figures, like in that kind of green. The same way those chocolate ones are in chocolate color.
Okay.
Oh,
I think but I haven't seen them yet. So
cool. All right. So Bill, you said you're going to 5 Points Fest. That's first weekend in June? Second weekend? First or second weekend?
yes. So 2 weeks from today. Today's Saturday, right? 2 weeks from today. It's going to be Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 8th. I'll be there on the 7th, but it's going to be a full event. Like there's going to be multiple, like, okay, when I say full event, I mean like appealing to our crowd, because it's at its heart, 5 Points is a designer toy con, kind of like like a mini decon, where it's like you know, very small artsy type toys and different like plushes and different stuff like that, vinyl pulls and stuff. But in addition to all that, the core show, there's also going to be at least 3 or 4 different Glyos makers are going to be there. Plunderlings are going to be there. 4 Horsemen is going to be there. They're going to have the prototype for the Infinite Legion's Fate in there. That's going to be the weekend it gets fully revealed. It's going to be revealed Friday the 6th. And then the show is the 7th. So that's going to be the big reveal weekend. And it'll be at that event. Matt Dowdy is going to be there with O'Neill. Obviously, Jesse with Toy Pizza. It's going to be fantastic. I'm super pumped. I wish I could go and spend the night and go both days, but it just doesn't really work out for me. So, but I will.
Did you go last year? Did you go last year to the expo?
No.
Okay.
No. So last year, the Toy Pizza Expo was at the same place it is this year. I did not go to that, nor did I go to, or have I ever been to 5 Points Fest, which prior to this was in Brooklyn.
That's cool.
I will also say that Tidy, so Brett Stoddard, I think Ben Gillespie, and maybe a couple others. We're gonna get breakfast that morning because it's kind of like a late show. It starts at 11, so we're gonna get breakfast in Beacon, New York. If anybody's there and wants to like hook up and be a part of our breakfast, let us know. We're trying to figure out a spot, and we're gonna hang out before the show.
Seems kind of forward.
What's
Just
that?
kidding. I said it seems kind of forward, but you know, that's fine. If anybody wants to hook up. But yeah, it sounds awesome. I mean, like it sounded cool to me last year when I think Jesse was on your
Jesse DeStasio.
podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it does sound like a little bit more of like a not to pigeonhole a toy show, but not just a toy show, like kind of like an art show type thing where it's like multi.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of stuff. There's food and beer and like events and music, and then there's like local stuff going on. They're screening various movies. Like I think they're screening the original Godzilla at the local theater. They're screening the Lynch Dune movie. They're doing all these different like events and stuff that are like all kind of tied in with this thing. So they're trying to make it more, more of like a festival, a gathering than just like a consumer based like shopping experience,
Does his band play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be there for that. I'll be gone by then. But yeah, that night, I think Saturday night, Zed Star 7, which is Jesse's band, like his, what do you call it? Like not techno, but like,
There's an
electronic music type band. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I saw. I guess he probably played like a clip or a couple clips on your show at one point, which is pretty cool. So that's cool. Yeah. So there's that. The weekend after that is the Maryland Toy Expo. I'll be there. Ryan, you'll be there, right?
Absolutely.
And then we kind of go from there. All right. I guess we're good for today. I think I'm waiting for I'm supposed to meet up with family in a little bit to do some more birthday stuff. So waiting for that message. But Bill, thanks for hopping on, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was good having you, Bill, for sure.
Rhino, anything new with you? Any new pictures coming out?
I'm probably going to get back to it tonight. Just got to push myself to do it.
Yeah, dude. We need some stuff. We need Ryan's World to make a return to the show here. But yeah, it was cool to come back and actually chill out on a Saturday and do a little toy talk and stuff like that. We missed 3 weeks in a row, I want to say.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Chase had a Taekwondo tournament. Grayson had her ballet recital last week. And there was something else. It was all me. I had like 3 things in a row. Hey, Darla. But yeah.
Wasn't it 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think it was 4.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Listen, that's it, man. You got family stuff. You gotta do it. But it was too long. So I'm glad to be back. We'll be back again next week. And until next time, don't forget the number 1 rule, which is
be cool.
Later.
So I'll see you guys in November.